How to manipulate objects in Unreal Engine is what we're going to be talking about now. Anything in the general viewport you can click on, and it will bring you a little gizmo. And this gizmo will have little arrows for the different axes in the world. And you can see that whatever we click on also gets highlighted in the outliner and in the what's called the details panel, which is by default just below here. You can move these around if you like. To demonstrate this further, we're going to bring in our first geometry. And to do that, we go up to this little icon here, quickly add to the project. And we're going to go down to shapes and add a cube. And we simply I think you can either click on it or drag it. Yeah, now we have two. So you can simply see when I click on it, either here in the viewport or when I click on them here in the outliner, I get the little gizmo, and you can try and move them around. So you can see here they move around straight in the different axes. And to rotate them and scale them, we need to go up to the left hand side here, where we can see that currently we have move or translate, which is what is called in Unreal Engine, shortcut W, rotate shortcut E. So if we click on that, we get the same kind of deal, but with these wheels. So we can rotate them, and you can see that we get this handy degree disc or scale. And the same thing there, we can scale in either one of the different directions or uniformly by click on the white one in the center. And you can see that it kind of jumps, right? And all of the rotation, translation, and scale all have their grid settings. So if we go back to translate, to move something, we can go here to the toggle for this and see that we have a few different snap sizes. So if we change to 1, it moves very, very smoothly, basically 1 unit, which is 1 centimeter in Unreal Engine. And we can then go to 500, and you can see then that it snaps then would be to 5 meters. So depending on the size, so depending on what you're doing, this is very handy. I'm going to go back to something more reasonable. And that's the same thing with rotate. We can set basically so that it only rotates 90 degrees no matter what we do, which for a cube doesn't really help much. Go back to 10, and the same thing for scale. The other way to manipulate objects in Unreal Engine is to go to the details panel, where we have the actual coordinates of the object itself. So if we go to general, you will see here that it says transform, location, rotation, and scale. And these are the actual coordinates of this object in relationship to the 0, point within Unreal Engine. And depending on what we're doing, especially if we're importing something, it's very useful to be able to go in here and click 0, 0, 0. And I did this by clicking 0 and then use the tab button on my keyboard to jump to the next field. So this means that this is the 0, point of the Unreal Engine game space, which we will see later on when we start importing objects that this is extremely useful. A few other things about the object and how to see them, etc. We can go up here where you see the little eye under the detail panel and hide it. This doesn't mean that it will be hidden everywhere, because we can set what is visible either in a camera or just in the viewport. But it's useful for when we are working, and you can see that the shadow also disappears. And we will look later on at all of these different settings for different objects and how to create materials, etc.